Okay, so I'm gonna make the video. It's probably gonna be all over the place because I haven't wrote anything down. So I don't know where I should start. Well, I guess I could start with, I watched these two girls on YouTube. I watched them for like 3 or 4 years. And at first I watched Megan Lee's video. She used to be Chowbella XO or whatever. Excuse my window. Let me scoot up. She used to be Chowbella XO. And she put out a video talking about her anxiety and depression. And me and her, we relate a lot. That's my air freshener. You're probably going to hear it throughout the video. And if you hear music, my puppy is in his room sleeping. And that's the only way to get him to sleep lately. Yeah, I watched her video and we had a lot of similarities. Just, we get anxious, we worry, and we have good days, we have bad days. So she had been on medication for like, I think it was like a number of years, and she had weight gain. She got off of it. She went to see a therapist, and I'm kind of struggling with that right now. She spoke in her video about her body image and she didn't like it, and I'm struggling with that right now. But I think personally I need the medication because I know something is not correct in my brain because I'm a psych major. I know just something's wrong. I won't go into detail about that. But I'm also going to start seeking therapy in January, and we're going to see where that goes. At first, I was really against it, which, again, I'm a psych major. That's really funny. And, sorry, my computer wants to restart because I'm updating it. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, I'm going to start therapy in January because I'm going to be traveling through the holidays, so I didn't want to, like, start it, stop it, whatever. But I've been on medication since October 3rd, and I remember that date because of Mean Girls. But people that know me think, or I portray myself as like always a happy person, and I'm not. I'll be the first one to admit that. I get anxious, I get angry, I can like have the biggest heart and want to help people, and then I get really sad, and that's like the sad that I try not to like put online because I want people to think I'm always like cheerful or whatever. So I think personally I've been like this ever since my dad passed away whenever I was 9 years old. I'm now 20, and I actually think I had anxiety before that because I can remember a time, it was like 3rd or 4th grade, I didn't bring my freaking science book home and I couldn't do my homework, and I had a panic attack over that. Like, really? Like, that was the littlest thing. And that's what anxiety is. Like, it's the littlest thing and it blows up. And it's so big and it's just, it's sad. And the sad part is, I know, like, whenever I'm having a panic attack, I know, like, this is really stupid. Like, why am I doing this? But it just happens and I can't control it. Only way I control it is if my husband's, like, rubbing my back saying, breathe, breathe, it's okay. Like, I'm here. We're going to get through this, etc., etc. And at first, whenever we were dating, we started dating when I was 14, dated off and on, blah, blah, blah. He didn't understand it. He thought it was, like, I guess, like a joke. It was just, like, he just didn't know what it was. And I didn't know how to explain it at the time. And so recently we got married. We moved in together. I moved here in August. It's now November. And I would literally probably have like maybe 3 or 4 panic attacks like a day because I was diagnosed with an adjustment disorder, which you can look that up, kind of self-explanatory. I'd lived with my mother my whole life. Now I'm living with my husband. I'd lived with him maybe like a month whenever his grandpa passed away the previous year. So we kind of knew like how it was, and we always like, we'd spend like a week or 2 together, but it's never like consistent. So now it's consistent. I only had him to rely on technically, and I would just panic. I would freak out. And whenever I had a panic attack, I just recently told a couple people in my life about this. I saw in my mind my father on his deathbed, and you can believe it or you cannot believe it, but I saw that whenever I was a child. I saw my father dead in his hospital bed in our house because he was on hospice. And whenever I have a panic attack now, that's still what I see. So, like, whenever I'm going through it, I'm, like, hyperventilating. I can't control it unless Jonah's there, like, telling me to calm down or whatever. And now he sees, like, it's a real thing, and he wanted me to get help. He's the one that actually pushed me to go and get help because I'm so hard-headed. I've always, like, been the type of person, I don't want to go to the doctor, whatever. So I went, and I went before October 3rd, and I told her about it. My doctor, her name's Nancy. I've wrote about her in my blog. And I told her I had anxiety and depression, and she gave me, like, the little test, whatever. And I took it, and it was pretty extreme. And that's when she diagnosed me with an adjustment disorder because I told her I'd moved from South Carolina to North Carolina and everything that had happened. And I was like, I don't want medication, I don't want therapy yet. I want to see if I can figure out how to cope with this myself. She said, yeah, I understand some people can find, like, other ways, like they can get on Pinterest, find quotes, do lifestyle changes, like exercise, eat healthy, whatever. So I tried that for a little bit, and the panic attacks actually got worse. And I finally decided to go back. It was October 3rd is when I started taking 2 medications. I would take, I don't know, like the milligrams. I would take a off-brand of Zoloft in the morning to help me, like, through the day. And then at night, I would take this other one. I can't really say the name. I think it starts with an A. At night to help me sleep. And I was taking, like, a very low dose. I know that I took a very low dose for, like, a month. And then it ran out. And I went back. I would say for, like, the first 2 weeks, it worked really good. Like, I could tell it was working. And then after that, it just kind of leveled off. So in my mind, it was my body getting used to the medication, which happens. So the last 2 weeks, I would still take it. I took it every day. Then there was, like, 2 or 3 days where I forgot, which happens. And I just felt sad again. I don't really know or remember, like, why, but I just would. And so I went back, and she gave me the questionnaire, the test, whatever again, and it had gotten better, actually. She said that this is a very drastic change. We're going to stay on the same medication and come back in, like, 3 months and see how you are. Because when I went in, I told her I wanted to change it. I've gained weight. I feel sad again, but my test score obviously showed that there was some changes, which I agree. Some days I'm happy, some days I'm not. But so it's been a month now, a little over a month. I go for therapy in January, and then so November, December, January, February is when I can get, she said then is when we could change the medication or up the dosage. So we shall see about that. So that's that. But my anxiety, so it was when I was a child, then when my father passed away, and then Jonah and my brother went to boot camp at the same time. I was 16, I think. I'm 20 now. And they went 2 weeks apart, which, duh, that's gonna, like, screw somebody up. And a lot of drama happened that I won't speak about because it doesn't matter now. I'm married to Jonah. That doesn't matter. But I had some problems then, and I would see the therapist at school, and talk to them and tell them what was going on. I was bullied a lot at the time, so I lost a lot of weight. I think I lost like 10 or 20 pounds. I was so skinny. It was kind of gross. Looking back, I'm like, ew, like how did I get that skinny? But it happens. And then, whenever Jonah came home from boot camp, me and him broke up, and I started dating somebody else. And my anxiety completely like went away. And then, I'm not blaming this on Jonah also, but if you're a psychological person and you understand like the reasons why people have anxiety, is called triggers. And I've told Jonah he's my trigger. He doesn't understand that fully yet, but we're getting there. And so me and that other guy broke up, and then I got back with Jonah. I hadn't seen him in 2 years, and then I saw him, and we just knew, and then we dated, then got engaged, and then now we're married. But that was just another traumatic event. I have a lot of traumatic events in my life, and I have daddy issues because I lost my father. So I just have a lot of reasons why. So, and I'm pretty sure that anxiety can be like passed down from generation to generation, because I feel like my mom has it. I'm not trying to diagnose her, but I kind of feel like she has it. This lighting is not the best, but it should be okay. So I told you about the first girl that I watched, and she told her story, and we had the similarities. I watched another girl's video the other day. Her name's Nikki Philippi. One of my best friends from high school actually found her, and we watched her. I probably watched her about the same amount of time, 3 or 4 years, and she put up this video the other day saying why she didn't talk to her husband for 2 weeks. And she also deals with anxiety and depression, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I have the worst memory. But she was seeking therapy, and her therapist said, well, you've talked so much to your husband, trying to tell him like what he can do to mend their relationship. Nothing's wrong with their relationship. She just felt alone. She wanted the emotional connection and the physical connection, and he couldn't give it to her. They've been married for 10 years, so they're okay. Don't worry about them. But her therapist said, well, what if you tried not talking? And she went home that day, and she just told him, she was like, I need like some time, like just let me figure some stuff out. It wasn't like a break or anything, but it was just like, don't talk for a little bit and see. And he actually like figured it out in like 30 minutes, but she stuck to her gun and did the whole 2 weeks. So I've kind of done that in the sort of kind of way. If you know me, I'm very open and honest, obviously. So Jonah's the complete opposite. He keeps to himself. He doesn't talk a lot. You have to like dig and dig and dig to get stuff out of him, which is fine. I can get it out because he can talk to me now. But we've kind of switched roles now. He's the one that talks a little bit more, and I'm the one that kind of like holds it in. But sometimes I talk, sometimes I don't. So that's where I said, like, me and her also shared that we didn't talk to her husband for whatever reason for like a little bit. But it wasn't like constantly, like I didn't talk to Jonah for like weeks and weeks and weeks. But I just like kind of like got more reserved, and he would ask me like, are you okay? What's wrong? What can I do? Or he would just like go take me shopping, or we would go out on a date. Like, pause. Okay, we hadn't been on a date, like I don't even know how long. Like, we got married in June, and then I've lived up here since August, so we hadn't been on a date in a while. And the other day he was like, I'm taking you on a surprise date. I was like, okay. So the night before, he got me a gun, my hunting rifle, and we went and sighted in the next day, and I was like tickled to death. Like, I had the best day. Like, I just love quality time with him, and now he sees that. And things I think like that can help anxiety, depression, marriage, is some books. I have a couple of books that my mother-in-law has gotten me. It's The Five Love Languages. I definitely recommend that book. There's another, it's some divorce book. It's not like saying get a divorce, it's like to prevent it. I can't think of what it's called. And I have another one, I can't think of what it's called either. But those are good. But what I was getting to is Nikki Phillippi, she brought up that her therapist told her about this wheel, this emotions wheel, and like it starts off very basic in the middle, which is like the basic emotions like joy, love, happiness, sadness, anger, whatever, and then it branches out into more words related to it, and then it goes even bigger. And Jonah is more so in the basic ones. No offense, Jonah, I love you. But he's more so in the basic ones because he doesn't talk a lot. And I'm more so like out on the outer edges. And it just shows like the difference in personalities, and that's why we work so well, is because we're technically complete opposites, I like to think of. And they complement each other. But they also can clash because one person is so like open and wanting that, and then the other person's not. But it can also be bad because those emotions you can feel towards each other. So whenever I was looking at it, I don't think John has looked at it yet. I don't think we've had time to do that, but I'll get him to do it. Whenever I looked at the emotions wheel, like in my mind, I was thinking about Jonah. I was like, okay, how do I feel about him? I was like, I love him, but I also use some bigger words, which I can't think of. I have the wheel on my phone, but I'm using my phone to record. I had love, I had sadness, I had sadness, depression, whatever. I had anger because I'm like envious of him in some ways because he's so physically fit, and I have motivation to do it, but it's just I want results like that, and that doesn't happen, and I'm not consistent, and I get really sad about it because I know like I don't think I can do it, but I know I can do it. It just takes the willpower. And then I'm sad because of our past, but I'm happy because of where it brought us to, and we could have been married so much longer. We could probably already have a family, but everything happens for a reason, and that's what you've got to remember. And I'm sorry this is all over the place, but I don't know like how to like get it all out. But I hope this helps somebody. If you have any questions, if you need somebody to talk to, I'm always here. I have a lot of friends that deal with this, and we talk every once in a while. And I've seen some people online putting it out there because it's a real thing, and it's not just like a millennial thing. I hate when people like say that, because I think whenever people say, oh, it's millennials, whatever, look at who raised us. It's kind of both faults because they are the one that raised us this way. We're not so entitled. We work. I mean, that's a whole nother topic, but that's just how I feel. Because I know older people that also have this. I go to school with a lot of older people, and they have PTSD, TBIs, anxiety, depression, a lot of disorders. So it's very real. It's not a new thing. You can research it yourself. So I hope this helps somebody, and I'll see you later. Bye.